Hello, this is the introductory video for Child Development 150, which is one of our administration and management courses within the Child Development Department. I'm going to record this short and sweet video that is just going to take you through like Canvas, the course structure, the weekly schedule, some like really important things to keep in the back of your mind while you're going through the class, and like kind of more important topics. I am trying to keep this short, and it will always be available to you on Canvas. So feel free to come back to this video at any time if you wanted to have a refresher on any of the policies and things like that. Because I am keeping it fairly short, it's going to be really important that you read the entire syllabus yourself for things like plagiarism, tutoring, my policy on AI, stuff like that I'm not necessarily going to cover in this video. I'm more going to focus on just some really important things that you need to be aware of. So like if we were in an in-person video, in-person class, the things that we would really kind of spend time going over. The first thing that I kind of want to focus on is that this is 150, and we also have a class called 155. So there's two administration and management classes, and then there's an adult supervision class. So the two administration and management classes have recently undergone a change in like scheduling. Typically 150 was in the fall, 155 was in the spring, and they were 16-week classes. We've recently kind of changed over to an 8-week format. The first time we did it was last spring, and I'm sorry, last fall, and this is our second time attempting it like that. So I don't know if 155 is going to be offered in the spring. I believe that we are only now teaching administration and management in the fall, and there are two 8-week classes. Why do I bring this up? Because these classes are what you have to be a site supervisor, a program director, if you want to go the permitting route, or if you want to be a fully licensed director as far as like community care licensing. So if you want to take on any administrative or management role, you need to have 150, this class, and 155 that starts in October. So if you are only signed up for 150, and you know that you have a job offer, or you're going to do something, or you just want to have these classes, please sign up for 155 now. I can add you if they won't let you in. So if you're in this class, it should be very easy for you to add the class online with Palomar. I'm bringing this up once again because I don't want you to impact your employment, your job, your goals, anything like that. So there's two classes, this one, 150, and then there's another one, 155. They're both in the fall semester, and I believe only offered in the fall. If you want to work as a director or have any kind of management role in any kind of child care center that's Title V or Title 22, you need to take 150 and 155. We are not the only places that offer it. Cal State San Marcos does not offer it, so if you're planning on transferring, know that you should probably take it here. But Miracosta, Mount San Jacinto, Mesa, Grossmont, all of those places have these classes. They're widely available at the community college level, but you do kind of want to be aware that if you're going to go into administration and management, you want to take the two admin classes here at Palomar. They're called 150 and 155. I'm going to go ahead right now and I am going to share with Canvas. So what you should see right now is Canvas. And so I'm just going to take you through kind of what the class looks like online, which should help you kind of be familiarized. The first thing with Canvas is, how do you contact me? This is not an in-person class. I love teaching in person. I also love online, and I think this class really, really works for an online format because almost all of you are working in the field. You've been teachers of some kind, or you are teachers right now, and you're wanting to grow within your company, or just in general, you have goals toward administration or something along those lines. So this class works fantastic online, and then this is one of my favorite classes to teach, but it's not in person, so I can't see if you're confused, you don't understand, you're sick, all of those types of things that I could read in your face. I don't have that. So the best thing that you can do is you can email me. So if you look to the left hand of your screen, I am circling with my mouse in the vertical toolbar, something that says inbox. If you are lost, confused, need support, you are going to hit that icon and you are going to email me straight from that way. I have my email address up on Canvas, but it is very long. My name is Jolie. That's my first name, like Jolie, and my last name is Van Schoik. For whatever reason, Palomar has insisted that I go by my legal birth name on my birth certificate, which is Jolie Crossway Van Schoik. I got to kindergarten and my parents were like, "Oh my God, what did we do to this child? We gave her a hyphenated last name that's incredibly long and it doesn't fit on any paperwork." So I've since like 1982, gone by Jolie Van Schoik. I am actually working with the campus right now, like through legal name changes to get my name to like a regular email, but it is incredibly long. So my email is J Crossway Van Schoik. That's a lot. It's hard to spell. You can go to the syllabus and you can cut and paste it that way. The best thing to do is go to this inbox and shoot me a message this way. It's really easy to message your instructor. From there, it just gets sent to my work email. I check my email Monday through Friday in the morning, at midday, and then in the afternoon. I am teaching in-person classes, so it's not like I'm constantly online and have my email pulled up and I'm always looking at it. I do get busy with grading, teaching in person, and things like that. And then I also work at Cal State helping with a new initiative that they're doing for early childhood education. But I do make a point to check in the morning, check at midday, and check in the afternoon. Usually I'm trying to wrap up all of my business around 4 in the afternoon. That's the last time I kind of check my email. So it's Monday through Friday. I check 3 times a day. As soon as I see your email, I email you right back. If I don't have the answer, I email you. I don't have the answer. I'm working on it, or stand by or something like that. So I do really pride myself on during the week being as communicative as possible. Once again, I am a real human being. I am not a bot. I am not available at night. I'm not available after traditional kind of business hours, and I am not available on the weekends. But the best way, once again, is just to hit that inbox with me, and then anything you need. Your office hours are inconvenient. Can we meet another time? I'd love to talk more about this. I want to get my permit. I want this job. Can you explain your lecture a little bit more? Anything like that, I am totally available to kind of help you as well. So now I am in our 150 class, and so this is kind of what it will always look like. This first module is just information about the class, and so I might take this down in a few weeks after everybody's seen it. But once again, this is just explaining the difference between 150 and 155. If you are in one, you might want to be in the other in order to be able to work in a Title V or Title 22 program as a like fully qualified director or any kind of management position. Our second module is the welcome. Start here. And if you have already gotten here, because this is where the welcome video and the syllabus is. So right now you are watching this welcome video that I have recorded. And then here is our syllabus. Once again, I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible, so I'm not going to go over the syllabus. I'm just going to pull out important things. So the syllabus is right there. It's available for you. You need to kind of download it and look at it and read it because all of the pertinent information, policies that are going to be important about AI, about tech, stuff like that is in there. I'm just highlighting and pulling out the really important things that I want you to know in a video. Here is my email. So you can email me that way if you want to. This will take you to your email and then you can email me. But like I said, the best thing to do is just kind of hit me right there on the inbox and send me a message. And I check my emails 3 times a week, 3 times a day, Monday through Friday. Why do I bring this up? Communication. Well, I totally get, and what happens in this class is that most of you work, and most of you work full-time or roughly full-time hours. And you are taking this class to kind of hit different goals that you have employment-wise. So the best practice is going to be is to take a look at my kind of course every Monday or earlier in the week, because every Monday I release new videos, new information, new resources, new readings, and new assignments. So every Monday, you probably want to take a look at it earlier in the week. That doesn't mean you have to do the work, you have to submit it, anything like that. But just take a look at it. And then if you have any questions, concerns, you feel like you need additional support, shoot me a message and I will help you. Because because a lot of you work on the weekends. That's kind of what I see. That's when you're logged on, because I can see when you're logged on and when you're on and when that type of stuff and how many hours and stuff. So that's kind of what I've noticed. I'm not creeping on you guys. I just kind of like to see the trends, and the big trends that I see are kind of evening hours. So kind of after 7 o'clock, when I am not going to be online, and I'm not going to be working, because I've got my family as well. And then weekends as well. And so like I see a lot of Saturday nights, Sunday nights, or during the day on the weekends. Great. I love that. I want you to work at the time that is best for you, but I'm not going to be around to answer questions. So I always really urge people on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, take a look at it, maybe breeze through. I usually have little lecture videos. Take a look at the readings, take a look at the assignment, especially, and be like, oh, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, shoot me emails, and then we can talk back and forth. And then you can kind of work on Saturday or Sunday when it's more convenient to you as kind of a working professional. I've been teaching these classes since 2017. Previous to that, I was a program director. I was a site supervisor. I worked on Camp Pendleton. I worked in Title V programs. I worked in drug and alcohol rehab. So I have a lot of administration experience. So I've been primarily teaching these classes. And so I've kind of seen the rhythms and the flows of how this class kind of works. And I've kind of tailored what I do to fit how you guys work. So I'm really here to kind of support you as much as possible. So this is our welcome to our class page. It will always be here. It will always look like this, and it will always have this information. Feel free to come back at any time if you need help. So this is the director's file. This is kind of a larger assignment. I have a short video that I'm about to record right after this that will explain this a little bit more in depth. I think that that video will actually be short. It will only be about 5 minutes, but it will explain this kind of larger assignment that I have for you guys. So look out for that video. And then I have your student support services. Some of these are already in your syllabus, but we also, the department took all of them and made them into really easy just links. So please be aware that we have resources for like your basic needs. We actually have fantastic food pantries at each campus. So like I usually work at the Fallbrook campus because I live up here. And they have a great little student thing. And then like they have a fridge for students, and you can get food every day, and people bring in fresh produce and all that type of stuff. The better one is on the San Marcos campus, but so does Escondido as well. We've got disability resource. We've got what do you need for online? We've got student health services if you were to get sick. We've got all these like information and support for you that you need. Everything from Palomar, you've paid like kind of a student fee to take this class. And so please know that these support services are for you and are designed for you, and we want you to take part in them because if you need them, because that will make you a better student and that will allow you to be successful. So we've made sure that we have all of these links. If the links are broken, let me know. I usually try to run the link. It like kind of goes through my links, but every semester they break and things like that. But your student support services are there to help you. So those are all hyperlinks that will take you straight to the department that you need. If you also are like super confused and need help and don't know where to start, just email me and I can link you up with like the appropriate services on campus and like their phone number and website and like their hours and stuff like that. So if you need like the writing center and you're confused about how that works, just let me know and then we can kind of work through it together privately on email. Or you can hit my office hours. So I'm really like we're really lucky. Starting last semester, last year, they gave us really good office hours. Before we were kind of like I think we only had like one a week. Now I have three. So I have 3 office hours a week. Since this is an online class, they're all online. They're on Zoom. Wednesdays they're from 9 to 11 a.m. So there's the link right there. So every Wednesday, that will be the link. And then they also every Thursday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. I guess I should put the a.m. there or 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. They're not like at night. But that's the link as well. I have them every week, except if there's a school closure. So like Thanksgiving week, I'm not going to be on Zoom on Thanksgiving week. Like Thursday at 11:30, I will be cooking a turkey. I will not be on Zoom. So if we're off, if campus is closed, then I'm not having office hours. If I ever need to change the schedule, like I think there's one Thursday that I can't make it because I have a faculty meeting. Otherwise, if I can't make it, I will put in a little announcement or I will somehow communicate with you that I don't have office hours for that week. Speaking of announcements, every Monday Monday, I send out an announcement, and then the announcement will be on your front page of your Canvas. And so every Monday, I send out an announcement. You probably saw it when you logged on to class today. And my online announcement gives you a to-do list. Like, I don't want to be like coy or like confusing. So I literally tell you what to do every single week. I'm like, look at this, read this, do this, think about this. Here's a cool workshop that's free. Like that, I try to put everything in the Monday morning announcement. And it's kind of my check-in with you, give you information that you might need to know in order to be successful for the class. So you probably want to look at that and then be like, this is my to-do list, and then write it down or print it or download it or something like that. So every Monday morning, I send out an announcement. Why is it Monday morning? Because every Monday morning, I open the class content for this class. So we are in week 1, so this is all that is open. So we've got a discussion board. Just introduce yourself so I know who you are. That helps me kind of tailor the class to your needs. In previous years, I'd had kind of more people who were teachers, so like credentialed teachers who were coming back and like getting 24 units in order to be TK and pre-K, and also thought this class might be interesting to them. And so I kind of tailored it a little bit more towards that and put more workshops and information for them that was more tailored towards like a more credentialed teacher. In the past, I've had people who were a bit more infant toddler or after school. So I do try to kind of change and adjust, or just have that in the back of my mind. So getting to know you is great. And then I have some curriculum videos. So every week I will have like typically a video or a few short videos, either from me or from YouTube, but I'm typically on, actually they're not short. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to get better. But I'm not necessarily super short at my video lectures, but I do have lots of readings, links, things that you might want to take a little bit farther. So this is one about program planning and curriculum, and then also about diversity and inclusion and kind of mission statements and like kind of defining and who we work for and why we work for them. Then this is where week 1 gets a little bit weird. So normally I open the class on a Monday and it closes the following Monday. Palomar itself is very intense about our rosters because the state of California is very intense about who is actually in our community college classes. So by Thursday, you need to do the leadership styles assignment, because by Friday, I need to have a rough roster. And then by Friday night, or even on the weekend, I have a complete roster and I send it to the Palomar College, and then like the next week in an 8-week class, they send it to the state. So it is not me, but we need to know exactly who's in the class. In an online class, that's not you signing in, that's you doing an assignment. So by Thursday, you need to do your leadership styles. If you do not do it, you have not logged in, nothing like that, you might be dropped. You will probably be dropped from this class because you have not signed in, you have not done anything meaningful. It is typically the same with all classes. If you're doing a 16-week, they might give you into the second week before they have to do a roster and submit it to the college. In 8-week classes, we really have to get it done ASAP because we have to know who's in our class in order to submit it to the state. So just know that about all online classes, you have to log in and typically do an assignment in order to kind of keep your place, or you will be dropped. So do leadership styles by Thursday. Normally it would be Monday, but I need to have my roster, so that's why. And then why is it the next assignment not due on Monday? Because it's Labor Day. So I have it due on Tuesday. Labor Day campus is closed, so I didn't necessarily want to have you submitting something on that day. So our curriculum approach, so the kind of the second assignment for the week, is due on Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. Feel free to submit your assignments at any time. You do not have to do it on the day that it is due. If you want to do it, if Monday morning you're off and you want to do all your work on Monday morning and you start work at like 8, or you start working on the class at 8 and you go in at 1 or 2 and you want to finish before, please do. You can submit it at any time. So both of these assignments have instructions and information within them, and then also the curriculum videos support this as well. So this will tell these video lectures are supporting these assignments. So typically, if you have questions or concerns, your answers will be kind of in the assignment instructions, and then also within the video lectures and kind of the information that I have in a lecture format or in the additional readings, or what I've kind of written in those pages. So here's an example so then week 2, week 3, Week 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then 8 is already kind of fleshed out. I kind of have everything going the way that it's supposed to. So week 2, we'll do planning and then supervision and then a budget and money type things, then health, marketing, licensing, and then the very last week is a final essay exam. Nobody stress about the final exam, I promise, because on week 7, this will open, I give you a final review. And our final exam is just short answers, I guess, like small s paragraph, 2 paragraph. So like that's more, we consider that a short answer. But you might consider that an essay, but typically we consider it a short essay. So I give you 10 questions. No, it's probably more like 8 questions. I give you 8 questions in the final review, and then on the very last week, I choose 5 of those. So you actually get the questions a week ahead of time so that you can prepare, start writing, researching, all that type of stuff. So nobody stress about the final exam. But normally in week 2, so for example, it's all like I've got information about infant and toddler and preschool and like how do you plan programs, how do you get them up and running, how do you do that type of stuff. Then I have one for FCC, which is family childcare, and then for school age as well. And then we also have, and then I have another page that I'm working on right now about strategic planning and needs assessment. This is where if you were starting a new program, you do a needs assessment. What does the community need? You can do it at any time, but we often do it before we start new programs. I'm currently doing a needs assessment for Cal State San Marcos to kind of see what the community needs as what far as teachers and childcare and stuff like that, so that the university can meet the needs of that type of stuff. So, and then I have planning your dream assignment and planning for a school age program, and those will be due the Monday following. So they'll open on the second week, and then they will close a week after on Monday. So just so you know, week 2, week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It opens on a Monday. It closes on, well, I'm sorry. I need to take that back. Week 2 through 7, the modules open on Monday and they close on the following Monday. So you have 7 whole days. You have like what, 165 hours to work on the assignments. And each week I have between 1 and 3 assignments. If it's 3 assignments, it's 3 shorter things. If it's 1 assignment, it's a larger thing. It will equal 20 points. So each week you have assignments that are somehow worth 20 points. And you have video lectures and you have readings and things like that. The first week is weird because I have to get a roster, so you have to turn something in on Thursday and then on Tuesday because of Labor Day. And then in October, it will be our final week. And then you need to submit everything by Wednesday, Monday, and then yeah. So then Wednesday, I open it on Monday, and then on Wednesday you turn in your final exam. But you got information about it the week before, because then I have to grade, and then I submit grades on Friday and Saturday because it's a mid kind of semester type thing. I can't have everything due on the following Monday. So the last week is also different. Your final exam is due on a Wednesday instead. But like I said, you get a full review. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop sharing, and I am just going to kind of do a little recap. First, if you're in 150, you want to seriously consider going into 155. The second thing is if you ever have questions, concerns, or support that you need, you are going to go to the inbox and you're going to message me that way, or cut and paste my email and email me because I check my emails Monday through Friday, normal traditional business hours. That is when I'm available to help you. The other thing is that this week is a little bit weird. Keep an eye on those due dates to make sure that you are logged on and I get you on my roster by submitting an assignment. Then it's our Labor Day, which kind of changes our due dates. Then weeks 2 through 7, I open on a Monday, I close on a Monday. You have 7 days to work on the assignments that I open. And then the last week is a little bit weird because it's the middle of the semester. It's like October, because this is only an 8-week class. You're going to submit your final exam, which is just short answers, on a Wednesday. Why am I kind of hassling you about this? Because my other kind of important policy within my syllabus, you're going to look at the syllabus yourself and take a look at all of those, but another big policy is late work. So As I said before, we're all busy kind of working professionals. Totally get that. And it's fall, which means that we're probably all going to get like a flu because some toddler is going to like sneeze in our face, right? I remember it was my first year working with toddlers, and I was like so tired because I was going to college and I was working and all this type of stuff because I went to community college. I went to Miracosta. And I was like yawning, like I had to come in early or something that day, and I was yawning, and a toddler sneezed into my mouth. So we all have that, right? We are all working with children. Fall somehow seems to be when all of the great germs seem to come back. So if you get sick, if you are having a hard week, if your kid breaks their leg, if your mom goes into the hospital, like any kind of emergency, please reach out and let me know. I am more than happy to give you an extension, support you, accept late work, but you have to have communication with me. So you have to just shoot me an email. I'm having a really hard week. Could I please have an extension? I'll submit everything by Wednesday. Like I said, my kid broke their leg. I'm at Children's Hospital. I'm going to be late. And I'll be like, absolutely. Yeah, just once you're out of the hospital and he's all safe, just hit me up again and we'll come up with a plan of when you're going to submit stuff. More than happy to kind of work with you on this, but I have to have communication. I don't need your whole life story. I don't need medical notes, anything like that. At this point, if you're consistently late, then we might have to have that discussion. But really, for most people, what kind of happens is, oh my gosh, I've had to work doubles all week. Or my director is out and I'm working 12 hours or whatever it is, right? I'm just generally letting me know that you're going to be late on assignment. And then once I know that, then we can just come up with a plan and it's totally fine. If you are consistently late, that kind of changes. Then we might have a conversation about why you're late. What kind of student support services do you need? How can we help you be more successful in class? Maybe it's a writing issue. Maybe it's anything like that. What you cannot do and what I will not accept is barely be online on the seventh week, get to everything and start submitting work after work after work. That is not how child development education or this class works. In our other child development classes, it's cumulative, right? So you learn infant toddler, then you learn preschool, then you learn middle childhood, all of that type of stuff. And if you don't know about toddlers, you wouldn't know preschool and you wouldn't know adolescents. We're not that class, but we are the same way in that you're going to learn admin policies and you're going to learn about supervision, then you're going to learn about budgeting, then you're going to do this, and like it builds upon each other. So you're going to do a plan of action at one point, and you needed to know some other theory before that. So what you can't do is kind of blow off this class or not do any assignments in this class, and then at the very end, log back on and do a lot of assignments in 5 days. I just won't accept them. That is not how this class works. That is my policy. So I only accept late work if there has been communication. So if you have not communicated with me, you haven't been online hardly at all. Like you did the first one, what I see is 1 week, 2 weeks, and then you're gone for 5 weeks, and then you come back the very last week and try to do all of that work. That won't work, and I won't accept that kind of work. Please reach out to me early and often with ways that I can support you, ways that we can get you successful. Once again, there's tons of student services. All right, so that was my short video, except it wasn't very short. Once again, hit up that syllabus to look at all the other policies and things like I have, but those are the really big things that I kind of want you to know about this class. All right, thanks so much, and I will see you guys more online.